answers reply. Good morning, ready, teacher. Okay. Good morning again, beautiful students.
Good morning, sir.
I am Sean C. Harrison, Jamaican singer, songwriter, poet, general writer, mental health advocate, mental illness sufferer, meaning I was diagnosed with a mental illness at age 19, and I still have to continue being treated as sometimes mental illness persists, meaning it continues, and so sometimes just like diabetes or high blood pressure or other things, you have to continue to maintain and take your medications. Now, I want you to know, first of all, that it is very important for you to talk. You know, when I say talk, I don't mean at the wrong time when teacher is teaching, but I mean speak about your own inner feelings, right? Your own inner turmoil, your own inner conflicts, what you're going through. If there is someone who is actually abusing you, or if there's someone who actually makes you feel less than you are or your true worth, or if you are going through any kind of situation where you have thoughts that are not the norm, like thoughts of self-harm. You know what I mean by that? Harming yourself, right? You know, it is important for you to talk. I think that I didn't get the chance to talk my mind and speak out, even as a little child, as I should have. And maybe if my parents and others had detected that I was having so much inner turmoil, I probably wouldn't have broken down at age 19 when I got, diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, the most severe form of mental illness. We don't want to be that to be any of your stories here. So we urge you, confide in somebody who is trustworthy, somebody who is true, somebody who is compassionate, somebody who is honest. If you feel there are thoughts in your mind and feelings in your body and in your mind that you cannot cope with and that you need help with, it's important to open up to teacher, open up to the church elder, open up to pastor, open up to a trustworthy police officer, open up to the guidance counselor, open up to an adult who loves you and who cares for you and who will not judge you, so that you can work out your situations and not have to bottle it all up inside and end up breaking down or having other deleterious or negative, mental health situations and conditions, right? Now, because you are grade six, I decided that I was going to read this little skit, this short little story that I wrote when I was all the way back in my early 20s at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts. I did a course in performance, and I was at the top of my class, but I fell ill with paranoid schizophrenia again, and I had to drop out, and I didn't complete. But I remember in use of English with Miss Jeanette Campbell, I wrote this little skit here, this little story, this little dialogue. And it's important for you to listen because it speaks about something that is a scourge in the Jamaican society at this time. And this little skit is entitled Regrets. The moonlight silver cast a glow on her lovely face. Daddy, why are you looking at me like that? Eve asked. Because you're my beautiful baby girl. And I love you, that's why. I replied. But you're sad, she said, looking me straight in the eye. I turned my head slightly to avoid her gaze. Amazing, I thought. She knew instantly the very thing I tried so hard to hide. I moved from the chair and picked her up gently. There's something I have to tell you, baby, and I'll try to explain it as simply as I can, I said. What's explained, Daddy? She asked, looking puzzled. I hesitated because I never had to explain before. And it's when somebody tries to tell somebody else how something works. Do you remember last week when Dwayne got his new toy car? Yup, she nodded. Remember he had to tell you how it worked before you could have played with it? Well, it's sort of like that. When you try to tell somebody how something works or why you do something. Oh, She looked at me quizzically. So am I going to get a toy? No, baby. I chuckled a bit as I answered. I just need to tell you something and please promise me you'll listen. Okay, boss, my lips are sealed. You know, when they say my lips are sealed, she said my lips are sealed because she's just a little baby girl. She chirped humorously and she clapped her hand to her mouth. I'm really going to miss you, I said almost inaudibly with a cough. But she heard. Her eyes no longer danced in the pale moonlight. She sat up in my lap. Are you going somewhere, Daddy? She asked. Listen to me, Eve. Remember some time ago when Daddy got sick and he didn't come home for a few days? Yes, I remember, she said slowly with her cheek quivering. She was getting scared now because she sensed that something, not so nice was coming. The chair grated the floor as I stood up with her still in my arms and went to the window to shut it. The moon had moved behind the clouds and a draft came into the room. I sat again with my 5-year-old treasure in my arms. Well, Daddy has to go away again. My voice cracked. But only this time I'll be gone for a long time. I could feel her shaking in my arms and I knew it wasn't the cold. Please listen, baby, I said almost pleading. Daddy is sick. Do you have a cold? She asked with searching, almost hopeful eyes. When I have a cold, Mommy gives me Panadol. Let me get it and then you'll be all right, won't you, Daddy, won't you? And you wouldn't have to go away, right, Daddy? She ran out of breath. My heart broke as I tried to wage war with my own tears. It's something that only the doctors can fix, and that means I'll have to go to the hospital. What's wrong? She sobbed. Shh, shh, I said gently as I held her close. I have something called cancer that's making me very weak, and I can't stay at home or I'm going to get worse and maybe even. I broke off into sobs. I felt angry and foolish as I remembered my chain smoking days. Smoking. As I remembered Maria's pleas to deaf ears, that's my wife, to kick the habit. I remembered her telling me that I had her and Eve and Dwayne to live for. Now telling Eve was much more painful than my inflamed, diseased lungs. By this time I was sobbing uncontrollably and a little more loudly, feeling as much a child as the one I held right then. Then I felt Maria's warm hand on my shoulder. It's all right, Sean. We'll work it out, she whispered as she knelt and hugged us. I love you, Eve said. I love you too, baby, and I love you, Maria. I coughed. I drifted into sleep with the two most important people in the world to me, close to me. That was my comfort. That was my healing. That's my little story there. Did you enjoy that story? You did enjoy it?
Yes, sir.
But there's a lesson that is to be taught there. What do you think the lesson is? Never smoke. What is the lesson that you think it's telling us, it's conveying to us?
No matter what you're going through in life, you still try to live your best.
Right. And he was putting out the best for his daughter, wasn't he? Right. What have you learned from that?
That our actions have consequences.
Yes, oh yes, that's very important. Shake my hand, little miss. That all actions have consequences. And, some actions have benefits. What do you have to say, sir?
Never smoke.
Never smoke. All right. So, I want to tell you now that this is a problem in the Jamaican society that many persons are trying to deal with in government as well as in the health sector, as well as just in the community, in the homes. So many times you pass and you see the men like this, right? You see them with the scissors and all of that. And I want to tell you that no drug, no stimulant, no narcotic is good for you. And the reason why I want to emphasize marijuana is because we have normalized the use of marijuana or ganja or weed to such an extent that many, many, many people are convinced that it does nothing negative to you. And I want to let you know, I was a child who took up early smoking, and I could have seen the personality changes, like going like me watching a nightmare to see what the person had become. And let me tell you something. People don't think about. the consequences in the immediacy of the time, because it takes time for smoking to actually damage your body, whether it's cigarettes or marijuana. It takes time. But sometimes the very first time you smoke it, you sniff it, you pull it in, and you take that draw, it mash you down completely. I go to the psychiatric clinic down by over by Princess Margaret Hospital on some Tuesdays, a particular Tuesday each month, and the psychiatric nurse practitioner, she's at pains sometimes when the young men come in and they're ranting and raving. Sometimes they have to tie them and they're ranting and raving and they can't control them. What do you think oftentimes is the culprit? Marijuana. And so, as I say, it's not the worst drug. It's not the worst compound because, of course, you shouldn't abuse cocaine. You shouldn't abuse meth. You shouldn't abuse ecstasy. You shouldn't abuse heroin. You shouldn't abuse any other thing, whether you sniff it or even vaping or even cigarette smoking, because it is all deleterious to your health. And some persons who would have been born with fine intellects and wonderfully bright minds often find themselves going down the tubes after having taken up smoking. And I don't want that to be your story or your experience. So please promise me, no matter what the pressures are as you get older and as you are exiting this institution, you are going into high schools where it's not as it's not as sheltered, and it's not as much a protected environment as this school is. So you're going to have to deal with a lot of pressures, bullying and all of those things. But promise me, no matter what the consequences may be, knowing that every action has consequences, as this young lady said, no matter what the consequence is going to be, you're going to choose the right, you're going to stick to the right, you're going to do the right. Understand? Are you hearing me? Is very important. Other times, as I said, smoking and abusing other substances interferes with your studies and your intellectual output. And so, does any one of you want to fall behind in school, especially when you go to high school, knowing that your parents are working so hard to send you to school? And no, you don't want to fall into any of those things. So please promise me no smoking, no alcohol, no abusing any other kinds of drugs, because you are too beautiful, you are too special for your life to go down the tubes like that. Now, not every single person is affected in the same way. And some persons will say, well, smoking not doing nothing. And in the outset, it seems like it doesn't do anything negative to them. But the thing is that there's a word that we talk about when we say sometimes it comes on insidiously. That means it takes a gradual course where you go down a little at a little at a time, until you find sometimes you can't keep your job, you can't wake up, you want to eat down the whole place, you are irritable, and all of the different ills, and your mind is unbalanced. Some people neglect their hygiene because of the incessant smoking. And there are a number of persons who you see on the road walking, who are street persons, who when you look, you see them sometimes with the spliff, don't they? And the cigarettes, street persons who live on the streets, don't they? And when you go back and you hear how bright they were, and then, they would have slipped down the slippery slope to disorientation and even madness. It's very, very sad. So please let that not be your story. Let that not be your experience. And so, after having read that story, I am going to read another poem for you, short poem, which is a patois poem. Some people don't like to use the word patois, but which is a dialect poem that is entitled "The Fruits Them Have More Use." And I have something wonderful for you. Every pitney love cheese sticks, bag juice, and sweetie. Just like you when me little me used to eat it. So me know them nice, but I have something to say. Listen good as me talk, and you go and learn of today. You ever hear about a thing them called vitamin C? It protect you from cold and flu and make you healthy like me, but cheese tricks, bag juice, and sweetie can't give. This important thing where everybody need to live. You see the artificial color will blow up your tongue, and the preservative them, they will mash your body down. Yes, you're not gonna feel it now. But as you grow up a little more, if you continue to eat them sick your body for sure. But there's a thing called fruits where you see all the while, you pass them every day upon tree and let them to spoil. But let me tell you, them is natural, the best thing for you to eat. For them have the good kind of sugar, not the candy type of sweet. Coolie plum, star apple, mango, and sour make you feel so alive with vitamin C. You just jump, skip, and hop. Tambourine good figures. You never have iron to make your blood strong. Eat an orange and some cherry every day and you never can go wrong. And fruits get lots of fiber. Make you pass your feces free. And don't have to force it to come out. One time that was me. Fruits give your body water. And we all need that for sweat. Because if you play and not put in liquid, a dehydration you are going to get. So cut down pan sweetie, cheese tricks and bag juice to your little going body. The fruits, they have more use. Come again. No. I want to hear you say it now. To me little going body, the fruits them have more use. To your little going, to your little going body, because you're going to tell your friends about the goodness, don't. To your little going body, the fruits them have more use, don't they? Can you tell me, yes, can you tell me some of the compounds that are found in fruits, some of the nutrients and the benefits of fruits that we spoke about in the poem and that we didn't speak about? Vitamins, good, very important. Huh? Iron, like the Guinea, yes, makes you healthy. Or nothing. Anybody else has something to say about the fruits? Make you strong. I have a lot of energy. Gives you what else that you need, for your body to function. Yes, and when we say water, it's not exactly water, but liquid in the fruits, contain is liquid in the fruits, also is important for you to stay healthy and hydrated. So remember now, you must eat up your foods. Let me see all of who love foods in here. Let's see all of who love foods. Everybody except two persons. Why you don't love foods, my friend? Every food you like. Okay. Well, that is understandable. You love the whole of them. But that's understandable. So what are some of your favorite fruits though? Apples and what else? Mangoes. What else? Hmm? Jackfruit. Huh? Tangerine. Yes. What is banana? What is your favorite fruit? Orange. And what else? Watermelon. All right. Okay. So you guys love your fruits and it's important. But it's not only the fruits. Remember your vegetables too. You love vegetables too? Yes, man, you must eat your cucumber, eat your callaloo, eat your cabbage and all of those things. And as I said, cut down on the fried foods. And when you feel to eat something sweet, grab a fruit, right? Not the biscuit, not the sweetie, not the cake. All the time, I just love everything, but in moderation, yes. All right, so remember that it's important for you to love to eat your food so that your bodies can be maintained and sustained and continue to be healthy and fit for school, fit for work, fit for play, because nobody likes to be sick. Well, anybody here likes to be sick? Nobody. You like to be sick? You're not sicky. Well, I was a very sickly child, and maybe if I had been told how to eat better, I would have probably maintained health. You know what we're saying?
You really don't like this car one time we did it when two come and you never go to bed. And two can now not strength to it up. I mean there's a good bridge color, but just pick up my phone and watch. Get up, like to could do to myself, I'm gonna come up and
Okay.
next year, then you're
Oh. All right, man. Can't bother. That's the last thing you say. Can't bother. All right. So nobody likes to be sick because then, you can't do the things that you want to do and everything. Well, all right. Anyway, that's that for my two readings. So please remember, my friends, what I said to you. Please remember what I said to you. Love your fruits. Don't abuse any type of drugs or substances. As I said, I'm not knocking marijuana use over anything, but because it has become so normalized and people think that not do you really convinced, and so a lot of young people taking it up. Please don't let that be your story. So look here, I have something special for each one of you here, some fruit. But let me tell you now, they have not been washed yet. And secondly, I bought the apples and the star fruit yesterday, and I picked the beefy mango off my tree yesterday. But it's not turned, it's not ripe, it's full. So you're going to take it home. You're going to wrap it up in newspaper and put it in a little plastic bag and make sure you remember it. And when it ripe and mellow, you eat it. Let me see, all of you have mango trees at home. Oh, are they bearing? Are you getting mangoes now?
Yes, sir.
So you don't want the mango then? You still want it? Eh? Oh boy, you look like you have a lot of issues, my friend. Anyway, you're going to what happened? Yeah, man. So what you can do is probably you can when it's ripe, you can give it to somebody. Yeah. Anybody else who wants fruits? Anybody who doesn't want fruits? I bought this star fruit, and these apples in Mart Bay yesterday. They have not been washed, so you have to make sure you wash them well and that you enjoy and have a feast. I tied them out last night. You want fruits? Yes. You want fruits? Yes. There you go. So they are fresh fruit. Any fruit for you? Anybody didn't get fruit? Fresh fruit, right? Anybody didn't get fruit? Everybody who wanted got fruit? Okay, okay. So, my dear children, that brings me to the end of my exercise, and I want to wish you all well as you exit this institution and as you embark upon a new leg of your life's journey. Remember to keep focused, keep motivated, keep on the right path, keep giving, keep sharing, keep loving each other, keep loving your parents, keep loving your brothers and sisters and your friends, and let us do what we can from now to make this a better world for everybody. So you pledge in your heart that in your little own way, in your little corner of the world, you are going to bring a smile to somebody's heart and lips and mind. And you are going to do what you need to do to make this world a better place. We are depending on you, for you are the men and women of tomorrow. And I wish you God's richest blessings, and I wish you well. It's the first time I'm engaging you. As I came to the school, I told Mrs. Carter I wanted a class that I never engaged before, and I want you to remember what we said about fruits. You cut down on the fried foods, you cut down on the fat, and you eat more fruits and more healthy foods. And always, always, always take the name of Jesus with you and be blessed always and be prospered. I pray the Lord makes his face to shine upon you. I pray that you will be blessed in the city, blessed in the fields, blessed in your going out, in your coming in your down sittings, in your uprisings. Bless, blessed, blessed every step of the way. Because if we are not blessed, then we cannot be a blessing, right? So we are blessed to be a blessing. So thank you so much for having listened attentively, and all the best to you.